I ended up doing a big chop at the end of the day. So again, I probably should have just done that from the beginning, but I was trying to do it half and half. I just found so much security in having long hair. But at the end of the day, the journey that I was on really helped me to become more confident and to recognize that, you know, my own standards and the way that I want to age is up to me and not to anybody else. And I'm not going to ever find 100% approval by other people. So I might as well just do the things that make me happy, which was the decision to go silver. So So today let's talk about the transition. I'm actually coming up on my 2nd year anniversary of when I made the decision to go silver. And it was around this time 2 years ago that I really started to get really frustrated with the whole coloring process, the roots, and I just started to find more and more motivation, and it started to pull me in the direction of going completely silver. So let's talk about what it was really like, because this is something that I wish I had heard or watched before I went in through the process. I started watching a lot of videos and looking at Instagram to see who was going through the process and what it was like. But it does take about 2 years. On average, they say that your hair grows about half an inch per month, and it took me 20 to 24 months. I really finally cut the last piece of brown, dyed brown, I want to say a couple of months ago, so maybe like a year and a half, but I also made some really bold choices with my haircut. And so that may not be for everyone. So at the beginning, I grew out, half and half, which I'll add some pictures here. And eventually I did a pixie cut. And then it's been really hard to kind of let it grow now because the pixie cut was hard to grow out. But I feel like I finally got to that point. So you could probably do it in 3 to 9 months if you were willing to do a pixie cut. In hindsight, what I should have done, I should have just done the pixie cut from the get-go, because I ended up doing that anyway, and it would have really sped up the process. So in hindsight, when I look back, I would have just done the pixie haircut and be done with it. I feel like it would have been about here now. So let's talk about the options that you have. So you could do cold turkey, right? You could just go in and just say, you know what, I'm going to do a pixie cut. Probably like maybe start letting it grow a little bit. And once you kind of have a little bit longer, you can do the pixie cut. You can kind of buffer out that transition with a spray, with some of the powders. You could even use mascara. I've seen some friends use brown mascara or black mascara to kind of weave in the white so it doesn't look so stark, and that demarcation. You could also do a big chop like I ended up doing. Obviously my hair was like down to here. I ended up doing a big chop at the end of the day. So again, I probably should have just done that from the beginning, but I was trying to do it half and half. I just found so much security in having long hair. But at the end of the day, the journey that I was on really helped me to become more confident and to recognize that, my own standards and the way that I want to age is up to me and not to anybody else. And I'm not going to ever find 100% approval by other people. So I might as well just do the things that make me happy, which was the decision to go silver. So you could do the cold turkey pixie. You could do a big chop. You can also do the blending. So there's the option, which I really wanted to do. You can also blend in some of the highlights as well. However, when I went in, my hair was in such bad shape. When I went in to do highlights, they tested it on a couple of strands and it was really going to damage it even more so. I had already had fried hair from doing highlights and covering it with color and all that stuff. So it wasn't going to look good, and it wasn't going to be the color that I wanted to, because I know we see those videos on Instagram and on YouTube of women like doing the highlights, but apparently it looks really great. But some have said that, really outside of the hair salon, it looks really fried, it looks really damaged. And some might even say it turns like a little yellow as well. So I didn't do the highlights more because my hair was in really bad shape, so it wasn't an option for me. But you can definitely, I know there's a way that you can do like low and highlights. You can do some blending. I've seen that happen. It just wasn't a choice for me because, of course, my hair was in really bad shape. And then, of course, you can go ahead and dye it all, right? You can just go ahead and like bleach everything. I've seen women do that before. The guy that does my hair, he has said that when you start bleaching, it starts messing it up, and it's just better to go cold turkey. So that was kind of like his advice to me. he was like, I mean, again, I couldn't do it, but I really wanted to go ahead and just go all in and bleach it, like doing a platinum blonde. I thought would be so cool, but my hair was in really bad shape, so it wasn't an option for me. And then he said at the end of the day, like, it's not the healthiest way to transition. You were wanting to have healthy full hair. We wanted to be natural, but all of those options can sometimes damage it. So if you're looking for my advice, I would say to do the pixie cut as soon as possible. It wasn't a good look for me because I have a really strong jawline. However, it was cute and it was fun and I really enjoyed it. And I wore a lot of baseball hats and scarves and things like that around my head and headbands. And so I got used to it. It was okay. And again, in hindsight, had someone I would have just done the pixie cut from the beginning and just been like really just kind of like all in. So let's talk about that demarcation, right? So when you start growing out your silver, you have like a stark line. And for me, it was white and then it was like really black with some red undertones. So it really looked crazy. I think if you have blonde hair, it's a little bit easier. For me, it was just really, really stark. So I did use some of the sprays at the beginning. I did use some of there's like an eyeshadow that's for hair that you can kind of put in there. I have sprayed it. Sometimes I do commercials or auditions and they ask me to spray it so it's brown. So I do still do that. If you're going to spray it, and L'Oreal makes it, there's a whole bunch of brands that make it. The one that I use is a L'Oreal. And when you spray it, it does cover. It looks a little like dull because it's just like spray paint on your hair, but it does look brown. And in order for you to wash it off, you'd have to use a clarifying shampoo. I learned the hard way. So using a clarifying shampoo to get that out. And it does take a couple of washes. So sometimes when I do it for commercials, I'll do the brown spray paint, but I'm in the shower for a good hour doing a clarifying and then like another clarifying just to kind of wash it out. And it does take some time to take it out. So there is that option as well that you can do. Brown mascara, brown eyeshadow, the spray paint from L'Oreal. There's also like punk rocker spray paint that you can do. I actually did the opposite and did white. So I did, there's a whole other video on that, but I actually did white spray paint and that looked really, really cool. So I brought out the front pieces with white spray paint. So that was really fun to do. Let's talk about things that I did in the transition years and things that I've learned. So here are my favorite products. Here's a trick that my hairstylist told me. So you take this is the shampoo that I use because I have fine hair. It looks really full now because of ever since I started HRT, but even my thin spots have gotten a lot better because of HRT. So I just use this is my favorite shampoo, but I use it because it's light, it's easy. I think it's moisturizing too. It smells really great. Here's the trick. Put this on your hand, like in your hand a little bit, and then you're gonna do a dab of the purple shampoo. I asked my hairstylist, do I need to get the purple shampoo for conditioner also? And he said, no, just get the shampoo version of it. And what I do is I have the regular shampoo in the palm of my hand, like you can do a quarter size or maybe 2/4 if you have longer hair. And then I do a dab of the purple on the inside. And then I kind of blend it. And that gives a really perfect blend because sometimes if you use too much purple, it literally turns purple and you don't want to, I mean, maybe you do want to look like that. I mean, my name is Violet, so who am I to say you can't have purple hair? And I did have purple hair in the Cyndi Lauper years. This is a really great way to go ahead and make sure that you don't have any brassiness. It really makes it so that it shines. I just did it today so you can see it's really, really, really white. It takes all of that, I don't know, it just makes it shinier and makes it look healthy. But instead of just doing this once a week by itself, if you just blend it together, like I would say 2 to 1 part, you have that really perfect hair color. Here's the other trick, is that you definitely need a hair mask at least once a week. Silver hair, white hair is different, right? It has a little bit more, I mean, I did my flat iron today because I have curly hair, trying to grow it out so I can get my curls back. So it's not that it's brittle, it's just got a different texture to it. I find that it really, really craves hydration. And so this is a great mask that I use. I use it once a week. I let it sit on there for a little bit and rinse it off, but I find that it's really made my hair look healthy. Eventually I want to have it really, really long, like super sassy, and I love bouncy hair and I love like pageant hair really. So I'm trying to get it back to where it was, but using the moisturizer will really help. So those are my tips for that. If you're going to use a flat iron, really low flat iron temperature, because the hairstylist that I have has told me that if you use too high, it does fry it and it does turn yellow, and you don't want it to do that. So so those are some tips there as well. And then at the end of the day, let's talk about the social perceptions and the personal doubt. So did I doubt myself? Absolutely. Did I want to diet over and over again when I was in the process? Sure. I almost caved in a couple of times, especially when I start seeing like beautiful brown hair. I'm like, oh my gosh. Or when I lost castings. So I lost a couple this year because my hair was way too white, and they wanted someone that didn't look my age, just like a little bit younger, and the spray paint wasn't going to cut it. So those are the moments where I'm like, I missed that gig with Target, or I missed that gig with other brands that didn't hire me because of the way it looks. So I had like this almost like also financial reason of maybe going back to my brown hair. However, I really loved my process. I really loved the silver hair. I really loved not going to the hair salon every 3 weeks to get my roots colored, to blink and then the roots are showing up again. I really loved the conversation that it started. I really loved talking to women about it and what aging is like and what is, the overall definition of graceful aging or powerful aging. And so for me, it really became a part of myself that I love to talk about and share. And I felt like it really created great communication, great conversations with other women as well. So, but I did feel like giving up. I feel like the hardest part of it is really the start, because it looks like, are you going to get that covered? Like people look at you like, but once you kind of get through that, I think people realize like, oh, she's growing it out. It's so cool. So I think the hardest part is just the beginning, the first couple of months. After that, buns, headbands, baseball hats, ponytails, all those things really do a great job. I did a great commercial. I played the hero in the commercial, and my hair was silver and brown, and they just kind of like had it in a ponytail and slicked it back, and it looked really great. So it can look really cool, but I think the beginning is the hardest part. So I hope that these tips help you in your journey, and I hope that you decide to give it a go. And let me know if there are any other questions or topics that you want me to cover. It's been really great. So cheers to 2 years, almost 2 years of making the decision. And yeah, thanks for joining. And if you like all these videos and the information I'm sharing, I'd love for you to subscribe and follow and let me know what you want me to cover. I'm happy to serve and help you. Bye.